We do not own the rights to anything or any music that's heard during the duration of this podcast. Also, a lot of these shows will have explicit content. So if you are not a fan of any cursing or profanity, you may want to walk away, but that does not mean that every show will consist of such.
Are you serious? Like, we at season 7, like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 seasons. Yeah, season 7. Magic number. If you know, you know. I'm not gonna go in depth with that, but yeah, this will be a very positive season. I don't know why and what's making me say that, but everything's changed. I'm still, like I said, stuff is very fluctuating now. I found that the connection with things is to get people to talk, as well as me taking time to talk. So you'll notice it, especially when you hear the first few episodes of this season. But it's just about sitting down and just having good talk, good conversation. Pass the message. Y'all know they ain't going nowhere. If you know, you know. If you've been around for a while, you already know how we give it up. But just hang in there. The content's amazing. The moves are even more amazing. And just put yourself in the right headspace to get this information. So hope y'all enjoy. Episode 384 of The Pass is here. I'm your host, BT. Haven't recorded in a couple of weeks. A lot's been going on. It's going to be hard for her to do this because I got a returning guest. Since she is a returning guest, we can have like I have an inside joke that she'll understand because it's been a trend without being a trend. And since we share her birthday, I want everybody to look around and everybody on mute. Big energy.
Bye. That was good.
I told her I won't go tell her what it was. That's just part one. I haven't even told the other part. So I have a friend who is back on the show, 3 years in the making. I would normally say she needs no introduction, but since she did her mild introduction last time she was on, I get to talk crazy this time. She is a woman of faith, woman of God, an amazing spirit, a music aficionado. Low-key be battling me in music joints, but we're going to get into that later. Like, we literally can throw some music songs. It's almost like we throw music haymakers out of respect. And interestingly enough, we found out after doing our last show that we had the exact same birthday. Did not know that, did not realize it until like after the fact. And the spin references, we both share a birthday with Beyonce. So she's a year older. Beyonce's in her Renaissance tour. And ironically, because I do have it as a topic, she's looking to join the ranks and hop on in with us in the podcast community. Also a potential creative looking to do some arting, some drawing. I don't know what arting is, not a word, but artwork. We're gonna spin that block again about Illustrator. I ain't forgot, but we're gonna let that rock later on. But I'd like to introduce back to the stage Ramona Ragland.
Hey everyone.
How have you been? How has life been? And how we feeling?
Man, in the last 3 years, a lot has happened.
Right.
Today I feel really good. But the last 3 years have been productive.
Okay.
I've been really focused intentionally on healing and lots of introspection and reflection. And I've really been focused on nurturing what's on the inside of me. That's been a lot of really, really hard work.
AKA aha moments.
Okay, lots of them. Okay.
My bad.
Lots of them.
Not even 2 minutes in and I'm already coming for my bad.
Okay,
My bad.
yeah, that's really been my main focus, is being healthy internally, and It's crazy. I think about 3 years ago, and
a lot of life. Listen,
I've grown so much. It's crazy.
A lot of life has happened, yo. Like I think, and it's kind of like it's an interesting spin because, like, yeah, we both had. I'm sitting here thinking about my own journey because I was like, hold on. So at that time, I was knee deep in chaotic COVID. I was in healthcare.
That's right.
So it was like, because I want to say you were on as a guest after I had my friend Wyatt, who pushing to get him back on the show. We will talk about that later. That's a try. If I got that as a try, yeah. Hey, people, listen. Funny thing is, if I told him where I was, he'd be like, "Look, man, I'm outside. Hold on, how did you get?" Don't worry about it, bro. So, but no, he's. I definitely want to get him back on the show, and possibly he might break my possibility of doing a first couples podcast.
Ooh,
Thinking about because I've always thought about. I'm like, yeah, I would love to have like a couple, a married couple, and like just let them, do their thing. So, but yeah, so. Back to us, it was like, we had life being what life was. Mm-hmm. I still remember, like, I was like, all right, I'm at the hospital. Following year, got out of the hospital, still stayed with the company. Not gonna say the company, y'all know I'm always about PG, respect, all that. And I want to say in 2021, I literally had 3 jobs in like a 7 or 8 month period because I was pushing patients, I was scheduling them. And then I went to another level of insurance doing service desk work. And now here we are. Now I'm a coder. Still, some days I've had a friend of mine, matter of fact, Wyatt and I, we talked about this. And I'm talking about him a little bit on it. But it was kind of funny because one day he was like for instance, right now, this time of the day, 12:15 on a Saturday, I would be working because I was in service desk. So now to look at it and be like, oh, I got weekends. What do I do?
I remember, you will be working on the weekend. That's right.
Mm-hmm. So like a lot has changed. But no, I'm glad things have, like we've always kept in contact. I don't want to say it like we ain't had time to do, like we've literally been just like, all right, we're gonna plan it. Stuff happens, life happens, because life is life. So we understand that as a lot of my friends have heard me use the phrase, life be lifing. So no pun intended on that. Yep. We got a nice list of topics. Normally I would not follow this protocol of giving her the list in advance, but she politely asked, and I also wanted to make sure that she was prepared with a little preparation, because even when me putting what I wrote, I could use these as like just bounce off ideas and just say anything. And now that she's talked to me and understands like how I am and I understand how she is, we can kind of have like this is all impromptu. Like we've talked about a little bit of it pre-pod, but it wasn't really anything like in depth. Ironically, she has a message that I'm going to hope that she remembers to bring back for the end. Hold on to that message, because I got the other one and I still saved that audio. I ain't forgot about that, because that was the first time I kept a bar. Usually I'm like, oh, this is an audio test. Hold on, no, I need to. Might have to accidentally. Yeah, this ain't a blooper. This is like a message. So since you've been on the show, and since I've had many guests, I do this thing. And you may or may not have heard it, so I will use your experience on the way here as an example to become relevant to this, because you said you were a little late, but you weren't late. You were on time. You were good. But you're traveling in your vehicle. You're playing your music, because you was playing music, ironically. That makes it even better. But in the process, you're playing your music, and it's like, you know what? I'm going to skip that library. I'm going to skip the other exit. I'm just on a trip. I'm just riding, and I'm in my car. I've been given the option to play 5 albums, non-skippable. They can, like, you literally gotta leave them, take your burdens to the Lord, leave it there. I'm just gonna go right into it. These are your 5. They like, hey, I can play them. I don't care if I'm judged. I don't care who's gonna look at me crazy for what I'm playing. These are my 5 albums. What would they be?
Man, right now. For the record, also, I didn't really prepare. So
that's fine. I know. This is super promptu. I had to make sure I didn't give you like the breakdown.
5 albums. The first one that comes to mind is one of my all-time favorites. Alex Isley, her Marigold album, is one of my favorites. What's another one? I'm probably gonna do albums I'm listening to like right now.
Frequently,
yeah.
Okay.
Kenyon Dixon, Everything, his Closer deluxe album.
Okay.
Is so good. Man, let's see. I really don't want to mess up his last name, but you correct me because you listen to him as well.
I got you.
Mac Ayers, is it Ayers or Iris?
Mac,
I think it's
Mac Ayers.
Ayers.
Yeah.
Okay.
I gotta remember to get the tickets.
No, so I just looked at them this morning, but there's a reason why I'm just holding off.
I got you. Say less.
But his Comfortable Enough album, I really enjoy.
Is that the latest?
Yes.
Because that's the one that's got that scene. I think it's like, it seems like every day I see you. But that's a different one.
Is that one? It's either that one or the one before it.
Fair warning, we do not own the rights to any of this music, so I'm just go ahead and cover that now.
Okay.
I think it's in my it's in my initial intro, but I'm gonna say it now, so I'll go ahead and sneak a track in. You might be. I mean, you're right. I'm probably thinking, oh, you know what? No, this is the song that it has on it. Since you're feeling long.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna put. Yeah, this one. I played this today. Okay, my bad. That's all I'm doing. I want my podcast to.
Let me stop.
Yeah, no. You good. My bad. I was on the wrong album.
No, you're good. Those are 3. Who else? Let me look at my Spotify.
Yeah. You gotta listen. I did it. I did it that way to make it clear, like how it gets. So
you know who has and I was late on this. I don't know if I told you this or not. But Jay-Z's 444 album.
What?
So I was late to the party.
Oh.
I was late to the party. It's okay. Judge my life. It's fine.
No. You good? Because I'm gonna pick with you on that one later on. But go ahead.
Earlier this year, for whatever reason, you know what it was on TikTok, story of OJ. I heard a clip of it. I was like, "Oh, this is fire. What is this?" And I went and found the album. And I remember when the album came out, but I didn't listen to it. And I listened to it.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Sean Carter fan anyway.
Right.
I guess I probably shouldn't say that really, since I was late to that album.
No, not really. That ain't.
So I would say that's album number 4.
Okay.
And let's see. What's number 5? Jesus.
Surprising. Never mind. I'm wait till after.
I'm curious to see what you.
Nope. No, because I told you. There are perks to being family. You had to sometimes let people do their own thing, and then I'll be like, all right, so you didn't mention. And you know when I say it, you're gonna really be mad.
I probably will.
Just don't walk out. That's all I ask.
I won't.
Okay.
I got you.
I bet.
Man, who else am I really listening to? You know, I'm just gonna give her an honorable mention because I think the album is really good. Her name is Madison Ryan Ward.
Okay.
And her album is called A New Thing. It is amazing, and her voice is just.
Okay.
So I would say those are not of all time, but those are the top 5.
Those are your 5 right now
I'm really
rock.
appreciating. Yeah.
Okay. I'm marking this because I want to remember, because I am gonna do better with this, because I've always asked people to give their list, but I never put the actual albums in the show notes.
Listen, it's okay.
So we can work. So that light bulb, so it just popped up.
Take notes during the podcast.
Oh no, it's noted. Trust me. Listen, when you do this as much, and this is something. This is a tip without being a tip, but it will be a tip to be useful. When you're recording podcasts, you're gonna find yourself finding little points to like put little markers to remind yourself, like, oh, this is something that was said that I need to possibly add as a show note. Because like show notes are your best friend, because they like literally that's how most people feed their podcasts, like extra information. No, you good. Look,
we're sharing and learning.
We sharing and learning. So while you taking notes, and you gonna get mad because I'm gonna really be blindsided. I was surprised. I am surprised you did not pick any Chris Brown albums.
You know, I knew you were gonna say that. I was like, when you said I was like, it's either Lucky Day or Chris Brown that he thinks I'm gonna throw in this.
Yeah.
You know, I have not been listening to Christopher very much.
Really?
Lately. Yes. Now I was going real heavy on. I call him Christopher.
Yeah. No, I got you.
I was going really heavy on his stuff.
I'm sorry.
Oh, so
thank you. I bet
familiar.
you might know her. Okay. Well, we've got our summon. So we'll keep it in. We'll keep it in house. Well, we good.
Ramona's gonna be quiet. I feel like that was an ASMR. We're gonna be quiet. We're gonna take a sip of water.
This is a reminder that you next time you're on the show, we're not doing the library for good reason. Cause you did warn me. I didn't really, cause normally I've been good up here. Hey.
I told you I thought you were gonna kick us out.
No, hey, she gave a cool warning.
I feel like I know exactly who she is. That's what's crazy. I'll tell you offline.
Oh, offline bet. I bet. 2%.
Listen, I want to take a picture of her and send it to a friend of mine who knows her.
2%. Okay, yeah.
But
hold that thought. I'm gonna scrub that whole part of the podcast. I'm gonna do that later. But no, we good.
Okay. Yes. So I do not listen to Christopher as much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why.
Okay.
It still just doesn't. It hasn't been resonating with me. So like I would kind of listen to him in spurts. Like if I want to hear a particular song or something, like I'll listen to it here and there. But I don't listen to his albums like all the time like I used to.
Fair.
Yeah. I don't know why, but
no, that kind of ties into the point you made earlier about the 3-year transition.
Yeah, I just feel like even that stuff changes when you grow. Like he has pop music. I love Chris Brown.
Mm-hmm.
Rooting for him.
Right.
His music just doesn't. Right now, it does not do a ton for me, minus the sporadic times I listen to him.
Right. So, I will counter your message of saying how things have changed in this manner. There's an analogy that I've used with a lot of friends and a lot of people, and it's basically where people are in your life. Some people in your life, they in VIP backstage. Mm-hmm. You got some folks that's in the front row. Mm-hmm. You got some folks that's in the balcony. Mm-hmm. You got some people at the concession stand ticket, and some folks that ain't getting in. Mm-hmm. Where people were 3 years ago,
baby. Okay.
Some folks got reconfigured, and I think even for me, that's still an adjustment. Mm-hmm. So it's like a good thing. I know we just solely mentioned off just the strength of Chris Brown, but just overall, I'm like, that's kind of what happens. Like you learn where when you do things in your life, I'm probably sneaking a message in early. When you do things in your life, just quick joint. When you do things in your life, you're gonna find that everybody ain't ready for where you are with what you're doing, and you make space for like those who get it, and those who don't. It's like, I appreciate you being here for the moment, but you was here for the good time. You're not here for the long time, and it's okay. Like some folks just may not be on that same dance with you, and that's how it grows and how it evolves. So, sticking with music, because we did have this, and it wasn't even a debate. It was just like a dialogue because we were talking about. You had sent, and it's a guy we both follow. I pretty much always look at every single one of his videos where he'll put different artists or put like, I think he did like U.S. Female artists against UK female artists. And I was like, okay, I ain't never think about some of these artists, but he did Lucky Day versus Sir. I would be guilty in saying, I think I was latched on to Sir because Hair Down just...
Now.
I know. Hair Down was a...
And John Redcorn, what?
John Redcorn, yeah. Just those alone, I think. But on the flip side, I will give flowers because I know in listening to what he shared, the songs that he put out there for Lucky Day, I was like, it is kind of unfair.
Lucky Day is just...
Yeah, because Lucky Day and Yebba... Is it Yebba?
He did a song with Yebba. Yeah. Now, had you asked me top 5 a little bit ago, Yebba... Yeah. Her recording at the Electric Lady. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And even on YouTube, like I still watch that. Yeah,
Yebba's getting. I'm freestyling, but I don't think Yebba's been on Tiny Desk yet.
Yes, she has.
She has.
I thought she had a Tiny Desk. Because I think that's the video that I watched.
Okay. No, because I could see it because like that's.
She is.
We're literally spend like half hour. We could spend a half hour just doing music. That's the funny part.
Like,
that's the crazy thing.
It's true.
But nah, I definitely, and it's so crazy because she was okay. Mm-hmm. The more you know.
It's so good.
It's like that.
Please, that's the one that I watch all the time.
Gotcha.
Please watch it.
Say less.
Yeah.
Say less. I'm following my own instructions. I'm gonna mark that part. Brian, was that for the podcast? No, that's for me. Okay. Selfish. Selfish while still being selfless. Okay, listen. All right. So yeah, now the Lucky Day, Sir. Like I would say anyone who has that chance between Spotify or Apple Music, just find that This Is Lucky Day, This Is Served playlist.
So good.
Yeah, they can do their thing. All right, we got a whole list. Where do I start? Because I can have fun with this a little bit. Mind I'm creative. I'm gonna tinker with that a little bit. Someone's doing resumes now.
Yes, they are.
We've been and I'm gonna share this because I got no hiding, no denying about life. I have a friend of mine, my cousin also does resumes.
Word.
And I've learned this is something that's very valuable to say without saying. It's not the end of the world to not promote others in the same lane.
Not at all. What?
Right. Yeah. Talk like let's
Not at all. So I am a firm believer that there is space for everyone.
Yes.
I'm a firm believer that there is a group for everyone. I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
Right.
Even if a lot of people may be interested, it's not everybody that's interested for whatever reason, right?
Right.
And those that aren't for me, like, come on, sis, like, I'll refer you.
Yeah.
Like, do I think from a business perspective, use wisdom, right? Like, am I, right? But absolutely, like, I think that's the crab in a barrel mentality. I think that is ridiculous. And not only that, sometimes you can build partnerships and do more things and have more impact when you partner with people. So, like, I'm not ever afraid to, unless you're someone that I personally don't align with. If our values don't align, then I'm probably not going to promote you, like, for that reason. Because I don't want to be associated. But if you do good work, you're a person of integrity, like, and you're popping.
Yeah.
To me, like, I just don't see why would I not. Again, from a business perspective, so I think you should never promote yours and always promote everyone else. No, that doesn't make sense.
You always got to promote. You got to promote your bag first. You should be.
Yeah, but I'm absolutely okay. I feel like you should be secure enough in what you do and what you have to offer and who you are.
I'm with it.
To still promote other people. I think that's silly to be like, no, I can't, because I live by this. What's for me is for me, and no one can take away what's for me. So if these 10 customers are gonna be for me, they're gonna be for me. And if I promote you, like, you're not gonna be able to have them because it's for me anyway. Yeah. Just like I can't take what's for you. What's for you is for you, and somehow, some way, as long as you're in position and you're doing what you need to do, like, it's gonna come to you. Yeah. So yeah, I think that's a beautiful thing. I personally love connecting people. If I don't have something that can help someone, I love finding resources for other people. You tagged me plenty of times. And I love to do that. Yeah. I don't know how to do websites and coding and
graphics and
notaries. And I don't know how to do all of that, but I know someone who's really great. And even though I've never employed you in that way, I know you as a person of integrity. So I feel comfortable saying, like, no, go see him, because I have had really good experiences with you, even professionally, I would say. So
yeah. Facts. No, you're right. And that's valid all around. Because I mean, that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. Like, it's a space for everybody. And to your point, like, if you got that solid 10, those 10 people you do a resume for them, they get a job. They connect with another 10 people that say, hey, I got somebody that they did my resume and got me straight. That's literally how, as much as I don't want to start trouble, I'm going to start trouble today. And this is probably like way off course of what we're talking about. It's so wild that we don't think about how we can make our own businesses with our own skin be relevant. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm only saying it like that because there are, and I'm using my example of this because it sticks with me so hard. There are some big companies in the city who do designing. I won't say names because it's not about that. But it's so eye-opening because companies will go to them, or people will go to them, but then it's like, well, you got folks in your backyard that do the same work and will probably do it at a much more affordable rate without cutting their hand off. I think that's the bigger part for us, because a lot of times our biggest battle has always been like, we do our product and then it's like, well, you could charge more, and it's like, yeah, but I don't want to. It's almost like you bump heads with yourself. Like it's a you versus you type of thing unintentionally. I know I threw like a whole lot out there.
This is good. I think you need to find peace with who you are, what you do, and the value of it. I actually kind of experienced something similar to this. So, I curate resumes and cover letters and help with training and LinkedIn optimization. And a friend of mine, she was like, I want you to do my resume. I said, bet. So I sent her the invoice, she paid it, and we had our first meeting. And she said to me, hey, Shish, I saw the price that you charged me. She said, and I was shocked that it was not higher than what it was.
Right.
And she started asking me questions. She said, approximately how many hours can you spend on a resume? So the way I do resumes, it's a bit intensive. Because I don't want your resume to sound like me. I want it to sound like you. That requires a lot of time on my part to execute that well. Yeah. And so, I shared with her and she said, okay, and divide that by what you're charging. How much are you making per hour? Like that hourly rates, baby, was low. And I said, oh my gosh. She said, here's the number that
I weren't at the library, I would do the air horns, but I've already gotten the strike.
Yeah, we're trying to stay out of detention, kids. We can't get suspended from the library.
School detention in the library is nuts.
The teacher, she was sweet, but she looked like you don't want to see her again.
I was like, yeah, that's the first time that's the first, it'll be the last, but nah, it's funny. But go ahead, I'm sorry. It just popped up.
And so I looked at it and I was like, that's not. I did a complete overhaul of my prices and show whatever y'all got before, and they got one heck of a deal. And so I actually it led me to really execute things that I wanted to do. I wanted to create documents to provide to people so there's no confusion around what we charging. I created a process document so that before you even hire me, you know what the process is.
Yeah.
I created a needs assessment so that we can shave down time, like on the phone and things. You can just fill out this form so I can know what you need. So when we get on the phone, we can talk about information that already exists. And then I created a price schedule.
Sorry, that was for me.
Oh, you're good. And then I created a price schedule, and on it, I decided to structure my prices in two different ways. I have 3 packages. Yeah. And then I also have essentially like an a la carte menu.
Right. Okay.
And then what I learned too was I didn't know PayPal had an offer or an option for payment where you can pay in installments.
Yeah, paying for. Yeah.
I did not know that. So I learned that as well. And so I actually on the price schedule added that, like, here are ways you can pay. You can pay me directly in full, or PayPal can pay me in full and you can pay them back. And my prices are drastically different. And not only that, I had to rearrange my price because I had I think I had the packages first, the a la carte, and then the options to pay. And I'm a former trainer, teacher, so
I left that accolade. My bad.
No, you're good.
I was trying. Listen. No, I threw what I could. It's been 3 weeks.
You gave me a gracious intro. I appreciate it. Okay. And so I was looking over the document and I was like, what questions or concerns would someone have up front? If they saw the price for these packages up front, they might be a little concerned, right?
Right.
So I actually changed the document to have the payment options first.
Yeah. To
address any potential needs you might have about pricing. If you can't afford it all now, that's okay. There's still an option for you. And so so I went through that to where I had to increase, and not only that, did more research on how much it costs for resumes. It's not what I was charging previously, okay? I was very much Dollar Tree, like end of the spectrum, okay? With what I was charging.
Gotcha.
I mean, so whoever paid the original prices, y'all was
congratulations,
blessed, okay? And not only that, I was doing things outside of what people paid for that were helpful to them. So I was not worried at all around, are people going to find my prices to be too high? I know what I deliver is good. Yeah. And not only that, even the packages that I sell, you can pay more than that for just an individual resume. So my prices are within what the industry would charge, and I provide really, really good work. And I'm very consultative, so I'm not just taking your resume and rearranging it and handing it back to you. No. I'm very consultative and spend time with people to make sure I'm communicating in a way that works for them and their journey.
Because you want to make sure it's scalable, right?
I do.
Yeah.
That too. So, so was I afraid of increasing my prices? I knew that there was potential that people would be like, "Oh, this is too high."
Yeah.
And I've sent out emails. Most people have been like, "I'm interested," and I send you an email. If I don't hear back, I'll follow up one time, and then that's it.
Right.
I don't chase customers. I have found that when I have to chase you, it's you want
the dollar worth getting.
It's
or the client worth having, in a sense.
Yeah, because you need to invest in the process too. I'm not just telling you what to do professionally.
Right.
You have to have a vision for yourself, and I'm helping to push you to that place.
Yeah. Through
these documents that you make space for me to curate. So it's bigger to me also than just creating documents. I really am passionate about helping to launch people to their to their destined places. Okay. So it's bigger than that to me.
I like that. That's all right. Yeah.
So charge what you're worth, y'all. And if you're giving trash stuff or you're giving basic stuff, then give basic prices.
Yeah.
Just be confident and sure of what it is that you're giving, and that your product can back what you're charging.
Right. And I think that's where my first step has been, because everyone has heard me talk about this. The biggest step that I've been blindsided with is doing that first, like getting that first website to really go. Because it's like, you have to your point, you don't want somebody to come and look at your site and it's like, this looks like an eighth grader. It's like why are you charging that much for that? No, So you want to, like, I really honed in on, like, everything for me lately has been just tools, productivity. I closed them out on my computer, but I literally have lived in Udemy now. Like, I've learned how important Udemy is for getting, like, here's your basic stuff on, like, even for me, like, I use Illustrator, I use Photoshop and all, but if it's ways that I can make it better and really get, like, good customers, that's where I'm at right now. So it's mainly been, I call them the big five, and I don't think we haven't talked about this, but I've been pushing everybody on this wave. I love social media. I think it's great. I think it's useful, but I also have learned that social media has, and I feel like I'm bringing this up on my podcast almost every time I have guests on, because they're probably like, Brian, why are you so pressed on this? Because I'm like, we're going backwards to go forward, because social media is great for what it needs to be used for, but some companies have relied on social media so much to promote that if Zuckerberg decided tomorrow, we getting rid of all this whole group, Meta is gone, how are you getting your business out there? Most people don't know, because they're like, well, what do I do? And I'm like, create a website, create a simple logo. You don't need to go out and go pay somebody all this money. Get a simple logo just to get started. People think I'm surprised. They're surprised when I say this. Cold email. Doing email lists, newsletters, 5 minutes goes a long way. Yep. The fourth one is probably the wild card, because that's where everybody's still a little scared, is app building or finding someone that can develop an app. And sometimes you don't even need like a overly done app, just something that's like a web-based version of getting to your business, so that, hey, it's a shortcut on my phone. I can go to this, click this button, and it'll take me to doing everything I would need to do to get to this person's business. So it's things that I'm pushing more on, like the wave of like telling people like where they are with that. And I've learned like how important that is. So like I said, I love the apps just like anybody else, but I'm also like, they doing some, I'm just paying attention. Like, I've been really paying attention to this for the last 3 or 4 months. And it's like, all right, we need to move to it. So but to your point, like with the resume writing, if you got to put your work in there, and which you are, because sometimes it just takes that right person to talk to you and be like, so you might want to really break this down and see, because it especially if you're doing an intense or in-depth breakdown for someone for their resume. So, let's see. So yeah, you kind of covered the mind of creative in a sense. So I'm going to do some paraphrasing real quick, because this is going to be a fun segment that we're about to go into called messages that have exposed us. Because someone decided to send me a message that they received that I posted on my page, and it went into my archive. So I'm going to go back and find the original message that said this, and we're going to start all the trouble in the world.
Okay.
Because it's amazing. Sometimes people just need to say it, and then you need to see it, and then it comes back around, because we've had this convo, but now it's beginning to make more sense that we're at the point to do it. Mm-hmm. Someone who has a podcast called $1 Million Worth of Game said, aka Wallow, said, to everybody that wants to do a podcast, do it. There's an audience out there for you. They have the audio. I'm not going to play the audio because, again, copyright. I want my show to last a couple more episodes. I want to get up to the 500, maybe.
Okay,
we'll see.
Go.
You know, we're in the 3, so we'll see where we got. But someone has decided that they are ready to hit the record button and start on episode 1.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Talk about it. Let's hear it.
Yes. So I have wanted to podcast for years, actually.
Okay.
I've just wanted to do it. And recently I've been thinking more and more about it. So much so, actually, that it was either last year or the year before you even told me the mic and everything. So yeah, I bought it. It was on sale at Best Buy, honey. I remember.
Was it this one?
No.
Samson?
Samson.
Okay.
Yes. So I think it was like $60, $70. Mm-hmm. It was on sale. And I bought it. And it has been in the box since I bought it.
Oh.
And as of late, it's been revolving and on the inside for a while. And I've just been thinking a lot about it. And I was like, okay. And the other day, I was legit at this particular moment thinking about it. And I was on my phone and I swiped up. Mm-hmm. And that clip that you referred to mm-hmm. came up. And what was also crazy is, you know how when it has did multiple slides, Instagram will default to the first one.
Yep.
Not this one.
It went to
the second one.
It went to the video.
It was not on the first one, which was odd to me because I've not experienced that before.
I'm explaining it to you in a minute.
And I was like, this is weird and legit. As I was thinking about it, he said, anybody who wants to start a podcast, do it. Mm-hmm. I said, what? And when I tell you, after I watched that clip, literally, I was laying on the couch. Literally, I got up, got that microphone, YouTubed. I found the text that you sent me around what software to use. Mm-hmm. I downloaded Audacity, figured out how to connect the mic, and I didn't have any headphones, but I had my in-ears because I sing at church every Sunday, and we use in-ears. Okay. So those were great.
So I tell people, that's the secret. Just like I'm wearing these, so none of you are physically here, and I don't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, you're good.
Everyone normally will see me record, and I'm always wearing headphones. But the truth of the matter is, I always keep a pair of earbuds with me at all times, because this does its job for what it needs to do it for. But if you just need something to just hear yourself as you're talking, throw in the earbuds and keep it moving. So yeah, continue. My bad.
No, you're good. And I started watching a video around how to record a podcast on Audacity. Like, I didn't watch the whole thing, just enough to get me like to a space where I could record something. I have a lot to learn still, but I pulled it out and just hit record, and I documented the moment that I just described. So I have it, and I just felt an urgency. You need to start. You don't have to know all the details. You don't know how it's going to look in the next few months. You don't need to do that. Just have an idea of what you want to do and start executing, because sometimes we want the roadmap before we start. And if we don't have all the information and we don't know what the destination is going to be, how the ride there is going to be, like sometimes we won't want to do it because we don't understand or we don't have all the information that we prefer to have. But I have found that in some spaces, you're not going to understand or get the next instruction until you get in that space. Because if you don't step into the space, the instructions may not make sense. Yep. So if, you know, like I was driving here, like you were describing earlier, and I was just jamming my little heart away, and I have my ways on mute because I don't like the constant. I only have the sound on if there's police or a hazard or whatever. Yeah. So I didn't hear
When it said to hit the exit.
So I just happened to look and was like, okay, and it said, get off Franklin Street. Well, boop, guess what? I'm already on 64 near Mechanicsville. So it's too late. But think of it almost like if someone gave me, remember how we used to have like MapQuest and stuff?
Mm-hmm.
If someone handed me those directions, but I wasn't in the car driving, those instructions may not make as much sense.
Heaven forbid if you're walking.
Yeah, like instructions won't make sense until you're in the space to start to use them.
Absolutely.
And so I've started to exercise this really in my life in general. Is I don't have to know how it's gonna look. Like I just need to start it, have an idea, have some sense of direction, but I also make space for things to evolve. So just like another example of that is like my cover art on my Facebook page that shows out your resumes.
Right.
And I looked at it and I was like, I need to add to it. But like historically, I'll be like, oh my gosh, it's not perfect. And I'm like, well, this is cool. It's just the first version. There's room for evolution. There's room for the growth.
Always.
And so I forgot where I was going related to the podcast, but anyway, just start.
Yeah.
Like, just start. So many of us miss out on things because we are too afraid to start because we have to have all the information all the time. We always want to be in control. We always want, and the fact is, guess what? It ain't finna always be like that. Some stuff I will not experience or discover until I jump into the water.
Yeah.
And so that's where I'm at with the podcast. It's like I'm still in my mind trying to creatively, like, okay, what's the overall thing? Like there's space to grow.
Yep.
But how do I want to start it?
Right.
And so I'm still figuring that part out, but I'm really excited because I have a passion for sharing what I know. I have a passion to connect with people and hear from other people. I'm really passionate about just imparting into other people, and it's not so much about like, hey, look at me, look at me, look at me.
Yeah.
It's really like I feel like I have something to offer, and through this, I really feel like I'm supposed to share some of that way. And so I'm just really excited. So that's how that moment happened. That's how I finally got to a space of execution. And I've been practicing recording since every day. And
I'm shaking my head because it's a lot. I'm gonna explain some stuff after you finish. You can be like,
so I'm gonna continue to study and learn how to how do I edit and how do I get rid of background noise. Like I don't know, and I don't know any of that stuff. But I know how to record. Yeah. I don't know how to add music to. I don't know any of that, but I know how to record. So my first few podcasts, guess what? They may not be the most exciting, but they'll be good in content. So
love it. Yeah. So, and I love this. This is always my long-term story with my podcast because I think people hear it but don't know how real it was. I've been on Buzzsprout about 3 years, a little over 3 years. Before that, I used Spreaker. Spreaker was a very clunky application. We'll leave it at that. And Spreaker's still good. I don't want to badmouth Spreaker because if it wasn't for Spreaker, I wouldn't have been as confident with even doing podcasts.
But it works for where you were.
Exactly. Why I always love the story is because the microphone that I shared with you, I was like, that was my starter microphone. I still have mine. Yeah, so I had one. I don't know what ended up happening with it. I ended up getting another one. The one I have now, someone else is holding. They haven't used it. I know they haven't used it. I'm not judging them for it because it's like, hey, when it's your time, you're gonna do it. But I had that type of microphone. Set it in front of the stand. Or set it in front of myself. Open the application. Spreaker had this like drawn out, robust design. That's like, oh, you just hit record. Whole time I'm talking on the microphone, thinking that this was picking up my audio. Computer was picking up my microphone. It was picking up my audio. So it didn't sound like any bit of good at all. To your point, I did all the applications possible. I did GarageBand. I did Audacity. I was literally like self-taught through a lot of it. Lord, I promise you this is from a good space that I'm about to share. I used Audacity. So I'm using Audition now. When I first used Audition, I was pirating Audition. I was using Audition, like I was able to get it online and just kind of rock it out. Eventually Adobe was not Adobe's a smart company. They like, all right, well, you need to pay. I was like, okay, I'm gonna pay. So I paid, and to your point, I literally even when I had the free version of it, I literally was learning everything as I went along. Like folks who listen to my show, they like, you got the music, it fades in and it fades out. I was like, do you know how many times that requires a lot of time that most people don't hear? Like, and you'll learn this if you haven't learned it already. The recording part, easy, super easy. But getting the confidence to set up the microphone, to make sure ain't nobody talking, like make sure ain't nobody throwing nothing at, like, for instance, where we're recording now. Yeah, most of y'all know I recorded at the library, whatever. You could have a random person just randomly walk by on the phone, and you got to sit there and be like, do I keep that audio? Do I cut it? Like, and I'm giving this as a gem early. You're going to learn how to, if you're not already, because, I mean, you do music, so why am I even, I mean, this will be just redundant in a sense. You're going to realize how much of a audio snob you are and how particular you hear. Because you'll hear stuff that you have no business hearing. You'll be like, why'd you sneeze? I didn't sneeze. I literally just heard you sneeze. No, I didn't. Okay. Heard it all the way in the back. Like, because it's how sensitive sounds become to you in recording, because you'll look at it as you don't want to mess up your audio because it's you. Because, I mean, your microphone is going to do most of your work. But, like, for instance, right now, even with them hearing it out there, I keep the microphone in a good distance from myself because I don't need to be directly on the microphone talking. And the more that you know, because you know, everyone knows their voice. And on top of that, and Audacity does this too, and this is an undercover cheat code, there's a sweet spot. If you've ever been recording since you're using Audacity, you're going to see this audio bit. And I'm giving this as a tip to everybody listening to the show too. So this is a win-win for everybody. If you ever see green, green is good.
Yes. Yes.
You already know where I'm going?
Yes. When it hits your yellow, you're spiking.
Mm-hmm. I've caught a couple yellow clips. Like us recording right now. I wish I could show it on the screen. But like, yeah, I would edit it, but you see it. Mm-hmm. So this is where we are right now. When we started, you know, this is where we got told what to do. So we had to adjust it. And it's funny because and like I said, having a Samson is a perfect starter point, because I've gotten to the point now, I don't even look at this. Mm-hmm. I have the microphone. Like, this microphone does all my work, because now I can look at this and see, okay, you can't see it on your side, but on this end, warning, you will hear a loud sound, so my bad. As you talk, you can literally hear the person as they're talking.
Oh, that's popping.
So that's how, it's a game. Little things.
You know, when I get my weight up.
Start small. But the confidence and comfort is gonna come to just. Oh, and that was the other point I wanted to add. I had a podcast. I guess I can call her, like, she was my podcast spirit animal, because she motivated me. Like, low key, she was a big reason why I got on Spotify. Mm-hmm. Because before that, she was doing a podcast every single day.
I'm sorry?
Every single day. She was like super invested. I'll give an offline talk about it a little bit, because there was some asterisks behind it every single day part, but the commitment was there for her to each day get up and do a show. Mm-hmm. And it became like a habit for her. Yep. Haven't done it in a while. I might do it again. I'm not going to do, obviously we're 12 days in, so I'm not going to do it. I used to do what was called PETA, which is podcast every day in August. And sometimes I would do it in April. If I'm, depending on my mood, with the birthday coming up, I might do peds. I don't know. Might do it every day September. Yeah, because I mean, you think about it, it doesn't have to be anything extreme. You just got to make a simple, get out there and just talk. Because my point, and I'm saying all this about it, and then we'll have some book conversation, because I don't want to ignore how much we've evolved, because we've written a book, and I like how nervous I was with doing that. But the interesting part is, with recording, the more that I always tell people this, and this is my one. Obviously, I always tell everybody the joke or the tip about drinking water, but this one thing is going to be your advantage to doing podcasts. In the event that you decide tomorrow, okay, I'm ready to start my podcast. You have a couple of audio clips already recorded. Most people will spend more time of, I want to have everything, like to your point, I need everything recorded. I need to make sure it all sounds great. I used to tell my friends when they first started, I was petty. I was like, look, do the recording. Don't listen to it. Don't edit it. Just upload it. Let it get chewed apart. Let you listen to it. You see, oh man, this sounds bad. You take notes. You learn from it. But your other resources, just getting on the microphone, putting a couple shows in, saving them. You don't have to upload any of it. You've got them ready, because now it's like, okay, cool. I start my show. I got 3 in the tuck, 3 ready to go. And I can throw those 3 in there. And while I'm getting those 3 uploaded weekly, bi-weekly, whenever, now you can get into a routine of, okay, I know what to do because I've listened to what my first 3 sound like. And it's just a matter of you setting your own schedule for when you want to upload your show. Yeah. That is literally like the formula without being like, I didn't have that privilege because at the time when I was doing my shows, I was doing like, hey, basketball, football just happened. You got to talk about it right now. And I'm like, so I can't wait a couple weeks and no, like this is week 1 of football. You got to talk about week 1. I'm like, and now the advantage, I don't use it now, but I could still do that where, okay, I want to talk about productivity. I could record, a person can record their show in August of 2021. They won't know that it was recorded in August 2021 unless you say, well, this was recorded in that time frame. Yeah. So those are, I know that's like a random tangent, but I wanted to share that because it's like in the podcast, as I put it in the title on the show notes, podcast aha moment. I'm glad, I'm grateful, and I'm appreciative that you had the moment of knowing like it's time, and you know this, and I tell anybody this, like, heck, I'll tell you because I don't mind. Not this last episode, but the show before. Guy came on the show. He and I have been connected for over a year. One of my classmates, schoolmates, came in. He listened, and he was like, "All right, I'm just gonna sit. I just want to see how you kind of do your format, how you do the show." And I was like, "I mean, I'll show you. Showing you the playbook is great, but to your point, it's gonna come down to you committing your time and saying, drop the mic, set everything up, making sure your audio is like clear." And then just doing the rest of doing the work. And once you get in the habit of seeing how simple it, like, I didn't get to 300 plus overnight. It literally was like some days that I was like, I'm not going to do it. I don't want to do it. But I also understood it was like, it's not just for me, it's for the listeners. Yeah. So that's my tangent. Didn't mean to go. No, you're didn't mean to fly off the handle with that. But I want to share that because I just love it. I've had friends that have had to like come to me and be like, Brian, you really don't realize like how natural you are with doing. I was like, it's just me talking on the microphone. I mean, it's just a regular conversation. Like if I hit stop, we had this conversation, we just didn't save it. That's the only difference. So yeah, that's that on that. So Angie ironically has the copy of the book. So I'm gonna get my Kindle version since I'm now Team Kindle. I still have physical books. Someone made a joke. I'm gonna show you a picture of it offline, but I had like a book listing of like all of the different books I have, and he was like, "You need to just go ahead and buy a library, like a bookshelf." And I was like, "You might be right, but you're a little too loud. But I'm gonna let you have it because you just it's cool." But she does have my copy of Ugly. Still, even when I go back and listen to that podcast, I'm still like, you called me out on so many levels, but it was received with open arms, trust and believe. How has your writing and or how can I ask this? How's your writing and or just overall publishing since doing the book? Like, how has that all gone since then?
I have not done a ton with the book since really that year. Now I've had, it's come up multiple times.
People waiting on that signing? They waiting on that book sign, that public book signing?
Maybe one day.
Okay, got you. My bad.
No, you're good. I really love that book. And it's not just because I wrote it. It really is something powerful because it's really meant to help people heal in really deep, dark spaces. Right. And so, I don't know that I had the capacity to do much more with it than I did. I also sometimes wrestle with promotion of things.
Okay.
I think, more peace about it now.
Okay.
But I'm not typically a look at me kind of girl. I'm just not that. However, I've had to switch my perspective on what it means to promote your stuff.
Okay.
And I think just like anything else, it's really about your heart posture towards it and your intent. I believe as long as you have pure motive in doing something, then it's okay to
go
do.
For it. Yeah.
So I do want to do something with my book. And I believe that the book is something that somebody can read 10 years from now and it still feels brand new and relevant, which I'm really proud of. So I'm not nervous about, even if it's 5 years later and I choose to do something with it, I think it'll still be successful and relevant.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's the honest answer. Everyone who's read it, I've gotten really amazing feedback on the book. And I think it's for the people who've read it that I've gotten feedback from. It's helped. It's been a transformative tool for people.
Gotcha. Okay.
With writing in general, I said this last time, I think on the podcast, I don't journal very much, which is probably surprising because I'm a writer and I really enjoy writing. I have a gift with words.
Yep.
However, I do not journal very much. But there was a time when I did. One of the things as I've gotten older is being okay with seasons changing.
Right.
There are seasons where I've written a lot. There are seasons where I just did not write very much.
Yeah.
And I'm big on don't force the clam open. Let it open when it's gonna open and get the pearl when it's time.
Right.
But I love writing. I do know that I have multiple books on the inside of me. I am going to start working on one very soon.
Ooh.
And I mean, dare I say I've started it already.
Okay.
And I'm very excited about that. I don't know where that's going to go, but I do know what I'm going to write about. I'll share offline when the time comes to
absolutely.
Share publicly. I will. And I just want what I put out to be substantial, and I want it to be special, and I want it to be impactful. I don't want to just put stuff out just to say that I did it.
Yeah.
So I'm okay with kind of a slow cooker process on that, and so yeah.
I like it. That's using my ears. I understand, and it's ironic. So, two things, because I've had people share with me plenty of times. They were like, "Brian, when you writing a book?" And I'm like, "Let me get back to you because it's been on it's been sitting." So I've had folks that are waiting. So I'm like, all right, when it's time, it'll be time. To your point, and I'm huge advocate of that. Like forcing puzzle pieces where they don't belong.
Honey.
You was about to walk out.
Okay, to try it.
Yeah. Hey, but that's how you. That's where the teaching becomes teachable. Like even, and I think I may have shared this with you. I'm not sure, and I'm sharing this on air, so we're all learning this together. This time last year, as we both were aware, we were at that 39 dance towards 40. I can't speak for you, but personally, I think I did more reflecting leading up to my 40th than I had done like in my life. And I think now it really resonates even since turning 40. It's like, let me sit back with this and like really not just jump out there and do stuff. Because as I've learned, even in my current role, sometimes when you jump out and do things, you can pay for it. But you pay for it, you learn from it, you don't let it stop you from what you're trying to do and where you're trying to go. So I say all that to say I understand you on the journaling because even with me carrying, like I have my little packet here that I've always been promoting. Shout out to Rickshaw Bags. I'm not looking for a sponsorship, but if y'all want to, sure. But I'm sharing it because in that package, I carry like my planner, my journal. Like I carry a journal that every time I'm like, okay, what are we doing today? I'm going to write the word journal on a note, on a planner to say I'm going to journal. And then I get to the journal and I'm like, so that means I got to actually journal. Like I got to actually like disconnect. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, I'm not ready to. But journaling, the consistency that I will stand behind and connect with, once you start journaling, it's always, you don't want to stop journaling because you know you got a lot. For most people, they have a lot of thoughts that they're holding on to. So, and then it's also to your point with doing the book. If you're doing a book and you're focused on like the breakdown, you good? You can pause, I can pause if you need to. Oh, she gonna do you pulling on me? Custom message.
Okay, hold on.
Currently, right now, you good?
Hey.
There we go. Okay, you good.
I'll also say about, I write all the time. I don't journal though.
That's fair.
So I would also say like, and this may sound very elementary and basic, but even for me, just having the pen to the paper, even if I'm not writing like intimate or personal thoughts, I'm writing all the time, pen to paper. And so I would also say like writing doesn't always have to be personal. I think that's where you have to kind of discern your personal season around how it is best for you to express yourself. Like, you know, doing the podcast, like for me, like a couple of experiences I've actually just recorded. So I have a verbal expression.
Gotcha.
And so even though it's not written down, there is still an expression of you know, thoughts and things. And the timing thing, I would also say, you know, another reason not to force it is sometimes it's not about the thing. It's not about the book or the podcast. Sometimes it's about you.
Right.
And sometimes from a skill perspective, you may be able and ready to execute, but maybe on the inside you're not ready or prepared for something that comes with it, whether it's responsibility, whether it's success, whatever that is. Sometimes you're not ready, and sometimes maybe people are not yet ready. So I think that's also, like when we talk about timing, it's not just about the thing. Sometimes it's about the impact, and that the impact will be right. Or not right, but it'll be effective in a positive way. Okay.
I'm with that. Valid. All valid. Because I mean, that is true. Because to your point, and like we constantly, I think this is almost, I titled it My Twin is Return, but I'm almost going to title it The Puzzle Piece Cannot Be Forced.
Okay, we don't force them.
Not forcing them.
We don't force no pieces, okay?
As my friend and I have jokingly had an insider of, don't play with it, don't play with it, don't play with it. I don't like that song, but just that.
I do not either.
But I could joke with that on so many levels. And it's funny you say that, because I think, and maybe I think because I've done it so much, because I'm not as reliable on pressing a journal to be the recording source, I think this has become the recording source, like sitting in front of the mic. And there are some times that I've gotten the conversation gets very deep, but it's happened to be like, oh, well, y'all gonna all hear it, so we just gonna let's all sit down and have let's learn together.
Come on, family, join us.
Front row, VIP, backseat, wherever, just sit, come hither. So I have one other topic as we break the hour mark. Doesn't seem like it is always
like it.
Right. This happens every time when people come on, because they're like, we talked that long? We did, trust me. Even with our louds and our warnings and everything. It's gonna be an inside joke for a while. Just to be clear, if I send you a red card or a yellow card, you know why.
Warning, okay, you're approaching the line, honey.
I was like, oh, we not in the green no more.
At least she smiled. I was grateful that she wasn't.
Yeah. I mean, as you know, it ain't like it was some regular, like, oh, I'm in here trying to be like extracurricular OD loud. So when you were last on the show, I remember we had this conversation, and our thing where we were going to come back to, because we want to talk about this, and this will take up a good amount of time, and it's okay because we need listeners to understand this because it is a big thing for both of us. Is the importance of, and I'm going to make sure I put this in 2 lanes, so if I get in trouble, I just got to live with it. The importance of communication and effective communication. Because I've noticed, and this is just me, that some people are good at communicating, but it's like an interpreter gets lost in translation, so the effective communication gets ignored. I want and this is I have an open dialogue with this on so many directions I can go from when we talked about it then to what's been learned. So I'll let you, if you want to lead it or you want me to mic it, how we going to do it? Because I haven't even done, normally we could always joke and say, oh, I'm going to be a mic on my show. But no, we chilling with this one.
I think that effective communication can be subjective because I think there are basic needs that everyone has in common regarding communication. Yeah. However, I do think that everybody individually has specific needs around communication that are not necessarily universal. Right. So, for example, everybody wants to be heard. Yes. Listening is important. Yes. But how people want to be heard can be different. Yes. I think that everybody's really great at talking. We all are really pretty good at talking. Yeah.
Sometimes too good. Sometimes too good.
Or too much. I don't know if it's always good. But.
Yeah. My mild thought I'm going to say to that before you continue is, and ever since my roommate said this to me, it literally has lived with me rent free. A person will say 100 words. Only 25 of them are retained.
Yeah, I can see that.
And I'm like, this is why we don't. This is why we sometimes miss each other. Sometimes, not all the time.
I think that some of the most effective communication comes when we are not selfish. And so let me define the word, because I think we use that word improperly. Yeah. I'm not talking about self-care and acknowledging your needs. That's not selfish. Right. To be selfish means to disregard someone else for your own sake. Okay. That is selfish. So when I talk about being selfish with regards to communication, I'm talking about you don't care how you communicate with someone else, or you don't care how it's important to them. I'm not talking about ignoring your own needs. Right. From a communication standpoint.
Ooh, that was loud. My bad.
Oh, I didn't hear.
The microphone hurt.
I don't have anything today.
I gotta clean that up in a few. I didn't either. Intermittent fasting. We'll talk about that too.
But I think if we would pause on what we have to say and really try and listen to people, I think generally speaking, I think we lack when it comes to listening and really seeking to understand what someone is saying. Right. Because sometimes we don't always know how to articulate, but can you hear what someone is at least trying to say? Yes. Because the reality is not everybody's a good verbal communicator, but everyone has a sentiment that they want to share, right? Right. And I'm working on this as well. I'm really trying to be, I think we'll work on this till the day we die.
Yeah, absolutely.
Flawed people, it's not always easy, but I really, and not only that, I also try to communicate what's necessary. So I also, for me, try and cut out, is this necessary to share? Yeah. Is this productive to share? Why am I in this conversation? Does this make sense? I think they're, not to make it too complex or to, create a web in the conversation, but I really just wish we would sometimes I'm trying to pretty this up because I'm not.
No, wrong podcast. Empty the clip.
But
Sorry.
I will say
this is before you continue. This is where we different as twins because I'm the twin that's like, say it. Sorry.
I'll say it, but you know what I'm saying. I wish sometimes we would stop being a-holes.
Yeah.
With other people, and you see it all over social media.
Right.
I don't think that it's with intent. I just feel like sometimes we're just selfish and we're so used to, especially with social media, just pushing out. This is what I have to say. This is what's important to me. This is what I want to get out. This is me. And I think when it comes to us hearing someone else,
right?
If it's not important to us, it's like we check out
we don't
sometimes.
Care.
Or we just want to be so quick to speak. I try very hard to, the Bible says, be slow to anger, slow to speak, quick to listen.
Right.
And that's hard sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely.
I had a friend of mine, she came over my house, and I'm also where I'm passionate about helping people sometimes. Sometimes when people express grievances, I quickly want to be okay,
here's what we need.
But I have had to, and I'm still working on it. Ramona, be quiet. This is not about your solution or what you think they should do.
Right.
This is your time to hear their heart and to be connected to what it is that they're saying.
Yeah.
If after that you feel compelled to share or they ask for that, then great. I had a friend of mine, she was like, listen, I'm going to talk. Don't say anything. Because she knows me. She was like, don't say anything.
Right.
And I had to zip it. And I did. And so I feel like I ran around to a few different spots.
No, you hit it. You hit the nail. And I was listening. I'm I got so many ways to come at this. Only because it's I saw a video on TikTok a couple days ago. And I don't know, other people's comments got attention, but for whatever reason, mine's caught a lot of attention, and I'm guilty of this. So if I do this, you probably already know it. This guy was talking to a young lady, and it was another lady with her, and they were across from each other. As he was talking, her eyes was just locked in listening, and I was like, she is literally listening to him to a T. The girl beside her. And I'm like, this is literally these are two polar opposites of listening to respond, listening to understand. That's number one. Number two, and I wish I still had the bag from when I went. So when I first went to Liberation to Help, because that was how I met Joseph. That was how I was going to do, be involved with websites. Still haven't forgotten to come back because I'm still a man of my word. I've not ignored, I promise you. I've been keeping up doing life, especially on Sundays. But when I went, everyone came to the table I was at, and they saw my phone, and then they saw this little bag, and they was like, "Why is your phone in a bag? What's going on with that?" Company, I still promote them. I think the link is in the bio now or in the show notes for Bagby brand, which is put the phone away, be focused. Things happen, even early when we had small, when you had a call. Stuff like that, fine, no big deal. I have had folks who are in my circle that know me and know how much of a stickler I am about communication. I'm sorry, y'all can't see this, but I'm on the phone and they'll do it, and then they try to come back and it's almost like they got buffered into the conversation late. So by the time they start responding, they have responded to something that I didn't even say. And I'm like, were you really listening, or were you just play listening? If you want to play listen, that's fine. But when it reciprocates, you can't be mad at the energy coming back. And I don't make it my goal to be that way anyway, because I look at it you never know when a person needs you to be there. And to your point, even with folks, there are some people that I've almost had to, how I separate it is, okay, is this going to be an unpack, or do you need to empty the clip? If you need to unpack, I will chill and I'll let you have the floor. Now, if you're going to empty the clip, I might not be in a state to be receptive to you, because you might go way off the deep end and I'm like, I'm not there. Yeah. Sorry, I'm listening, but this is way deeper than me. This is a level that I'm not on. So my point of saying all that is just it is important to communicate, because I think people do not do their best in knowing how important communication can be to people, and like the effective, the non-effective. That's, like you said, it is very subjective, because a lot of times folks will come in and they're claiming to be effective communicators, but they don't effectively listen, and that becomes that then cause like a bigger line or a bigger wall. Mm-hmm. So yeah, I think communication, I personally say, like, we don't realize the importance of communication. And I think why it stuck with me hard now, or is really a big deal, this microphone. Yeah. Doing podcasts. And the more I podcast, the more I'm realizing you really got to listen to people. You do.
I think I had a meeting with my mentor recently, and, we were talking about a situation that irritated me recently. And she said to me, she said, I don't think that it's people don't care. She said, it's that I don't think people know how to articulate sometimes their concern or support.
Right.
And when she said that, it really resonated with me, because I think we're so quick to be upset and be like, well, you didn't, but maybe it could just be that, because none of us have perfect communication.
Not at all. No.
And I think sometimes we automatically assume that people don't want to communicate well just because they don't. And so I think there's also a space for grace.
Yeah.
That maybe people don't know how to do that, and maybe people think they're doing it well for you and they're not, but maybe how they're communicating with you works well in other spaces. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So they may not know that it doesn't work well for you. And so let's look up the word communication real quick. Like definition.
No, you good. While she's looking up communication, y'all support the resume queen.
I appreciate
the unique plug. Especially, look, numbers went up. You gotta put the numbers out there. I know, like I said, we near the end, but you gotta put folks on the scene.
I appreciate y'all. I'll share the social media stuff.
We're gonna. I got you on the social close out.
Okay, so the word communication is a noun.
Mm-hmm.
And the definitions, one is the imparting or exchanging of information or news. Another one is means of sending or receiving information, such as phone lines or computers.
Okay.
And then a third is the means of traveling or transporting goods, such as roads or railroads. It's a little etymology for those who enjoy this sort of thing.
Yeah.
But the Latin word originally means to share. And so I think about like toys, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think about like to share something.
I left the koosh ball at home. I'm sorry. Normally I have one. Fun fact before we continue, I think when you were on the show then, I think I had a koosh ball, but I also wasn't. My fidgeting is out of control now. Like, I have the little honor roller, but then I have like a fiddle stick. I can't bring all that. I'm already looking like I'm running away, but okay, my bad. I just want to make sure I get that out there, because you was looking. You had a twin moment. Like, I know we got something. I'm like, normally I do.
It's true, I know.
Normally I do, but I ain't. Yeah, I didn't bring it this time. My bad. I'll do better tomorrow. In the words of LeBron.
You'll be better tomorrow. That's one of my favorite clips of all time.
Listen.
That man walked smooth out and said, "Y'all do better."
He picked up them beats. With style and grace, okay. Literally.
That was a whole movie. It really was. But so you think about like to share something. So, if you think about like a child, right? They're always taught to share.
Yep.
So I think about like a child who's trying to like give another kid a toy.
Mm-hmm.
And that kid like smacks it down.
Yeah.
Like, that's probably not going to be a great experience. Mm-hmm. So using that almost as a metaphor in conversation, if someone is sharing it with you, like, it doesn't have to be your preference. It doesn't have to be something amazing for you. But and this is talking specifically really in like intimate settings, like friendships, relationships, or someone in a close enough proximity to where it would be valuable for you to have some concern for what they're saying. Like, I don't know, sometimes just think about the impact of you not hearing someone,
Right.
and how that may not be helpful for the relationship. That is very much a hot button for me personally. I'm growing in this area to be a better listener and not be so quick to speak, and to be more connected to what they're saying versus what I have to say.
Mm-hmm.
Because for me, it is very much a hot button. I'm not talking about like, hey, I didn't hear, I got distracted. Like, I'm okay.
Yeah.
But like, if I'm sharing my heart specifically and there is lack of response,
it's like a wall.
I'll be like, ooh, this ain't working out for me.
That lady walked back over here, I swear for Christ. I'd be like, look, it's on. Nah, I was kidding. She's fine.
And I think it also depends on, like, in conversation settings anyway, it depends on the context. Like, I don't care if someone's on the phone if we're just BSing and we're not talking about anything important. We're talking about, like, ridiculousness or, like...
Yeah, the randomness, ridiculousness is fine. But this one is like an in-depth, like, real deal.
If you're having an in-depth joint, like, I need your attention.
Yeah.
Just like I should be giving you mine. So I don't know. I feel like probably those are my two. Like, we can be selfish in conversations. I would even say
that aha moment popped up. Look at the podcasting moment. I love it.
There is not only verbal communication, but there's also written communication.
All right.
So even for me on social media, I'm pretty intentional with what I communicate. For example, if I am triggered or I'm upset or I'm bothered, I don't post typically. Unless it is something that is very clear. My litmus test is, am I pulling back the bow and am I about to shoot an arrow with this post?
Right.
If I am, you are not to post, ma'am.
You gotta let it be.
If you're
keep
still
it in the
agitated,
archive.
I will not post it, because I really believe that even if you don't need to, if you have an arrow out,
you got a possibility that you're going to let it,
and you're aiming it at someone, even if you
may or may not.
That part, that's why, like, sometimes people are like, oh, I feel like what's about me now. Don't think everybody's accurate in that statement. No, I don't. Sometimes I think it's just get yourself together because you're paranoid. We're not talking about you.
Yeah.
I do think there are instances, though, where folk do post about someone because they can't say it to that person. So they post it. And I do feel like it's like an arrow or like a dart.
And
that they can hit someone.
Yeah, and those are straight. Those are... the strays are like... I got to think about the strays, because the strays, sometimes people don't understand. Like, you could, because you're doing exactly
right.
What? Tell me I'm wrong.
No, listen, I'm not a stray. I'm just
folks will throw it. I mean, they'll throw a stray out there. It'll be a post. It'll be a status. I'm probably gonna get in trouble with what I'm about to say, but we're gonna say this and then we're gonna go into past message, because this might be what I need to share because it's on my heart right now. I've had folks that go live that are getting a message that does not need to be on live, in my opinion. The person that needs to hear this message will never hear this message for two reasons. One, they're not going to be live at 5 o'clock in the morning. And two, you're not going to save the live, because then you have a paper trail. And you also never know who's going, because there's always someone who has nothing but time to listen to a 2-hour live of you saying the same thing over and over. You got folks that do it. It's no different than people who call somebody at like 3, 4 in the morning. Like when I used to work at the hospital, I'm not going to say the company, but I've seen people that will be on a phone call like 6, 7 in the morning, like full blown aggressive, high quality conversation where it's
aggressive? No. I don't know. I don't typically like aggressive conversations at any time of the day.
I mean, saying so, and you know why I think it's interesting for me saying that now, because I can even look at my previous role of help desk, getting calls where folks are on 1,000, but me having to bring them down to like 10, versus Now my day is like 9 to 9:15. I got this one call. Everybody gonna talk about their issues, and then after that, that's my day.
Okay.
Like y'all, if you unless somebody really has to call me and they got a question, and most folks will walk to my desk if we're in the office. But yeah, I mean, you just don't want to deal with a whole lot of brouhaha foolishness. But yeah, the person. I'm sneaking my message in early, but I'm gonna have an actual pass message afterward. The message that you're trying to get to folks won't be communicated well in a public setting with hundreds, if not thousands, of people that you immediately are friends with and they're friends with, thinking it's going to get to the person that will never see this video.
Yeah, I think that's a whole different, like...
Yeah.
Here's my rule on that. Okay. Again, I try to live like pretty simple.
I got you.
If I have an issue with you and I don't communicate that to you, there is no problem.
Right.
And I hold myself accountable for processing that with me and my good God.
Yeah.
If because I've chosen not to communicate with you, so I don't believe that you can hold someone responsible for someone that you refuse to communicate with.
Right.
If let's say, like, the color red offends me, and oh my gosh, Brian's just wearing it everywhere. Oh my gosh.
This is the second 2 weeks and 3 days, two podcasts in 3 days. Because I had the guy Sean came on, he was like, "Yeah, so I might have an issue because you wear red shoes." I was like, "I didn't mean to." No, but yeah, but you got an issue with somebody wearing red. My bad.
But like if I had that and I had an offense about that, but I never say anything to you, guess what? We ain't got no beef.
Right.
Now, if I come to you, that's different.
Yeah.
Then now you have something that you have to work with me.
Right.
But I do not believe, and I used to be this way, which is why I can talk about it, is I just don't believe, and you can be upset with someone and whatever, and that's fine, but I don't believe that you can bring it to their door or hold them to something that you're not saying to them.
Right.
And so then to go on social media, well,
I just wanted to be clear that if you...
Because I'm pretty sure you have a way to reach that person.
You do.
So either deal with it yourself internally, work that out, and you let the problem dissipate through your own personal process.
Right.
Or you involve the other person and bring it to their attention so that if there's something they need to modify, that they do that. But you cannot, that is toxic and that is problematic to hold folks to stuff
that they don't even know they being held to begin.
And they're like, what's wrong with you?
Yeah.
Like, why? Like, what's happening?
Right.
Because you're in a whole, like, whatever, whether it's an acquaintance, friendship, whatever, like, it's not just you in that space.
Yeah.
They're in that space too. So you also have to be fair to them. And so you can't be bitter with someone and you haven't told them that they did something wrong or something you felt like was wrong to you.
Right.
Like, so I live by that.
Fair and valid.
Let's grow out here, kids. Let's grow. Let's grow together. Okay, because
touch grass. That's almost.
Let's do our best. Let's
literally, as I'm reading Atomic Habits, that is literally the phrase. 1% better every day. That's really the goal. Makes such a big difference.
It really does.
So as we teeter in an hour and a half, we got like probably almost a half hour left in the room. But you know how it goes.
Yeah.
If you know, you know.
I know.
Can't even do this in seriousness. so much off air. One, I appreciate you sitting because this is, like I said, this is going to be a totally different podcast from we were talking about the book. I was like, it's going to go every direction, but it's still structured. Like that's the main thing. So as you remember last time, still same rules still apply. Before we do socials, I want you to pass a message along to the listeners as a walk away, along with all the other gems that you done through and the other blurb that's still out there that I gotta work with that later on. But yeah, all of that.
A takeaway message, I would say it's very simple. Take care of yourself. Take care of yourself. And I mean that, people typically interpret that like first is physical, and that's a part of it. Yes. Take care of your mind, take care of your spirit, take care of your heart, take care of those things. Your needs are important. Consider those, right, and drop stuff that doesn't matter. Really, like, and this is one of the things that for me is when I approached 40. That reflection. Says this happens. It's true. Yeah. And I think that in conjunction with me healing, is drop stuff that doesn't matter, drop stuff that doesn't belong to you, stop holding on to stuff that belongs to other people, stop trying to manage other people's choices. You are you. Manage your life. What is for you is for you. Don't force things. Let things and people come to you naturally. As you are your most authentic self, the right things and people will come to you. Yeah. Get to know yourself. I'm an avid supporter of therapy. Therapy has been life-changing for me. Same. Go to therapy. Get connected to a community. Church is very important to me. Get connected to people who are also going in the same direction as you are, who are looking to, strengthen your faith if that's important to you. Right. That take care of their bodies if that's something, whatever your values are, whatever is important for you, whatever you see for your future, align yourself with those things and people. Right. But take care of yourself. You are valuable and you are important. There is a sentiment that's been going around a lot, which is have main character energy. You are the main character in your life, and I don't mean that in an arrogant or self-centered way, but as a person who historically has been a people pleaser, who has shrunk to make sure everybody else was good and to make sure everybody else was thriving, and always putting myself last and always discounting my needs because everyone else's were more important. You are important in your own life. Make space for your. Thank you. I know I got there. No, you good. I would say make space for yourself. If you ain't here to last like 10 minutes, what I just rambled. Make space for yourself in your own life, because at the end of the day, if no one else shows up, you have to live with and deal with one person. Yeah. And that's you. So make sure you like that person. Make sure you tend to yourself. And if you really love people, you'll care about the quality of love that you give to them. And that starts with you. If you don't have that for yourself, loving people is probably going to be a lot harder than it should be. Yeah. So that's, I think, what I would say. Make space for yourself. You are important.
You are valued. You are loved. You're important.
And you're necessary.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right on the head with that one. I got a funny video. Now, this actually, I say funny, but this is actually a good video. I have, so there is a lot of people have listened to or heard of Mel Robbins.
Yes.
Mel Robbins has grown on me over the years. I think that was a turning point too, because we did our show in 2020. The following year, there was a video that she did on YouTube. I'm gonna send you the link for it. Okay. Everything just like switched with how I looked at a lot of stuff. Before that video, and it might have been around the same time, and this came up 15 minutes before we started the show. So I'm gonna share the video, and then I'm gonna kind of give my je ne sais quoi to it, and then we'll wrap up. And I'm sorry, social media plugs. I didn't forget. Okay. So I'm gonna share the video, give my 2 cents, and then we'll go from there.
Please bring up your significant other or your best friend or your mom or dad, and I want you to write, what can I do to be a better partner or friend to you? Now hit send. Let's see what comes back. Who the hell is this? If anybody gets a good one back, did you get a good one back? What did you do wrong, is what he said, okay? The reason why I made you do that is to illustrate a point. The person you texted is the safest person on the planet to get feedback from. And the fastest way to deepen your relationships are to ask those kind of questions. And yet, the moment that you were about to hit send, you feel a rise of this, I'm not doing this. There was that resistance in you. That resistance is normal. The question is, inside of the gap, does that resistance in you win, or do you win? And that is the power of making 5-second decisions. Open up.
So, for the last few months, I never paid any attention to this. I have a copy of the book on my Kindle, and I feel like it's a reminder because obviously I'm on Atomic Habits. Y'all know I've been locked in on that book. But she has a book called The 5-Second Rule. Mm-hmm. I'm overdue to read that book because it literally breaks down how simple our day-to-day is, of just how important a 5-second decision can be. You do something exceptionally well or something horribly wrong. And I will admit, to kind of segue off of this, the message she's sending of reaching out to people and just really making yourself available, take that chance because you don't know, you really don't have any control of the response, but it's more so just taking that shot of saying, hey, how can I be a better person? Like, really take time, and also to add to it, because she may or may not have said it. Any information, any feedback you get from that, utilize it and grow and just be a better you. And I share that with that type of sentiment because I'm like, I really don't think we take time and really check with our friends and really see, like, am I being a good friend? Or it ain't even like you asking, like, hey, I think I'm being horrible. Like, what can I do to be the best friend in your life or be number one? Or how can I get from front row to VIP? It's just, how can I be of service to you as a person? And that's really like what I'm honing in on, like, and especially with hearing that now, because I've listened to and I watched all her, like I blocked it on the podcast. I've been connected, but that message, I was just like, yeah, I'm definitely wanting it. It's some folks that I'm like, not even trying to ask them to see how their reaction, but just more so like, what if they have an actual answer? Oh, of course, the kids are here now, so we can get the fun background noise. Perks of cleaning up podcast audio. All right. Be like, Brian, you left it in there. Yeah, because I can't. Some things, the screen was just too much. I can mark it just in case.
Okay, focus on the content.
Right. But no, so that's what I have for that. Plugs, websites, business ventures, like, yo, close out. I'm letting you get the final brouhaha. Okay.
Social media, I can be found on Instagram and Facebook at Ramona, and Threads, which I really don't utilize a whole lot, but it's Ramona, RAMONA .Josette, JOSETTE. My website is www.ramonajosette.com, so it's pretty simple. Twitter, I am at Ramona Josette, no dot, because Twitter ain't allow it. And yes, resumes are what I'm focusing on, or professional documents rather. Customized resumes, tailored cover letters, training and optimization and curating of LinkedIn pages. Yes.
Ebooks, possibly.
I do have,
My bad.
No, not yet.
Oh, I'm teasing.
I've thought about that sort of stuff. No, you're good. You're good. My book is called Ugly on Amazon, and you can get that. If you buy it, please leave a review. I would love to hear your feedback.
August 28th will mark 3 years since the release.
Oh my gosh, I was
trying to. I don't know why I was like, I'm gonna set it. That would have been on Monday, but still, I was like, yeah, we could have done a Monday impromptu show, but my bad.
That was such a special thing to me. And yeah, I mean, I help lead worship at Liberation Church, 5501 Midlothian Turnpike, Richmond, Virginia. If you're looking for a space of faith to come, that is an amazing church. Yeah. And I think that's about it. Yeah, more to come. But that's everything I got.
We're not doing a 3-year hiatus on the podcast because 2026.
We are not going to do another 3-year hiatus. on the podcast.
So my request, so my closeout from my end, outside of the passive message. One, again, thank you for being on.
You're welcome. Thank you for having me.
Enjoyed the show. Like I said, I know I did some little throws here and there, but I was like, we was like, literally, no pun intended, we need to spin the block. We was like, all right, let's talk about it, because it's a lot that we had from that show, but also from this one. So that's number one. I'm gonna share to give that part. Two, once you get the show moving, you get some action happening. If you need to utilize resources, you already know. I don't have to. What need not be said. I personally don't make it a goal to gatekeep podcasting, because once you got it in a good position, I'll be ready to be a guest.
Yes.
I'm ready to be
on the list.
Yeah, because I want to be Mike. I want to sit because it's fun. It's fun when you get to just sit back and be like, oh, this is what it's like to not have to record. And,
I'm just a guest over
yeah,
here.
I get to just enjoy the moment. But I definitely appreciate this show. I'm glad we did connect. We've been connect. We've talked offline plenty of times. We're always, if it's not a song, we're sending each other.
Facts, though.
Yeah, we'll send. I'll be like. I think one day I sent you like about 7, 8 songs. You was like, Brian, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm at work. I'm coding. I'm sorry.
Listen.
I got a little bit of time in between. They said knock out these forms. I knocked out the forms. So I got, hey, let me throw these songs.
Spotify.
Yeah, Spotify. Spotify, and because I got my folks who I'm balanced. I got my Apple Music babies, making sure. So, but yeah, until next time. It's next week. Next week's I might be taking a break next week only because it'll be my mom's 80th birthday. Yeah.
That's huge. Mm-hmm. Happy birthday, Mom.
Yes, indeed. Happy birthday to Mom. Negotiating how I'm going to do these shows coming up soon, because I want to your point, and I'm learning this. I've learned this the last couple of weeks as I'm closing out. If I need or I feel like it's a good point to do a show, I'll do a show. But I'm not forcing shows anymore. And it feels better. Like this show, I was like, everybody, I got this. Sorry. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. But this is non-negotiable. I'm not taking this off. I love y'all dearly, but so this is a Brian taking care of Brian moment. So but I'm glad, Ramona, I'm glad you came on again.
Thank you.
Don't stop doing what you're doing. Keep creating. I'm not just saying it just as you're sitting here. I'm gonna always support you because you've supported me through everything over and under the sun. A lot of people see the story and may not even realize they're seeing the story. I think you've seen the story and you're like, Brian, are you paying attention? I'm like, no. Well, look, I'm like, all right, okay. But anyway, I'm gonna close out on that note. Until next time, stay safe, be blessed, stay hydrated. And most importantly, stay out the heat if you don't have to. Like, if you don't have to go anywhere, relax. Like, just enjoy the moment and live and let live. So, until next time, this is BT signing out. Y'all take it easy. Another episode is completed. Thank you all for listening. If you want to check out the podcast, you can go to buzzsprout.com. If you're looking to do podcasts, you can go to buzzsprout.com. To get to my podcast, you'll go to the Past BT Pod. .buzzsprout.com. If you're looking at getting a microphone, I always suggest getting the Blue Yeti X. That is the microphone that I use. If you're starting off and you need something more affordable, Samsung Meteor, it's a worthwhile investment. And there are other microphones that are going to be simple enough. My big suggestion I tell everyone whenever looking for a microphone, be sure that your microphone has the ability to have you listen to your audio or listen to yourself as you're talking. It will make a big difference in your editing and your podcast. Also, most importantly, and I tell people this is a tip offline, but I'm giving this in the final listen or the end of the show. Drink water while recording, and also just drink water in general. But drink water while you're recording, and the reason why, you'll be surprised. All right. See y'all on the next show.